guys, what's this I'm eating, you might ask? Why? It is a sourdough cracker. And I gotta tell you guys, it is the easiest and my personal favorite sourdough recipe I've made so far with sourdough. It's great. Super simple. There's no overnight proofing. You can have it like in an hour and 20 minutes. That's it. When I first thought about making crackers, I was a little intimidated because I thought, oh, I gotta make all those little tiny squares and it's gonna be totally time consuming and challenging. So not. So today's recipe comes from homesteadandchill.com. homesteadandchill.com. Love the name. Go check them out. This is a wonderful, easy recipe, and these crackers just taste so delicious. So anyways, here's what you're going to need for the recipe. You're going to need white flour. You're going to need whole wheat flour. You're going to need your starter, and you're going to want your starter unfed. So this is just literally a cup of unfed starter. So what you might throw away before you feed it, if you have extra. You're going to need a 1/4 cup of fresh herbs. I used half fresh, half dried. If you don't have fresh at all, just use 2 tablespoons of dried herbs. I just walked out and snipped some rosemary, and I got to tell you guys, that rosemary, that fresh rosemary in these crackers is just phenomenal. Tonight's seasoning, though, the crackers we're doing tonight, because I pre-made a batch of dough, and that's what we're going to be rolling out and looking at. But tonight's seasoning is za'atar. If you guys can see that, za'atar. It is probably hands down my favorite seasoning of all time and things. I love it. It's just got a really great Middle Eastern flavor to it. Let's see. So you got your fresh or dried herbs. 4th cup of fresh herbs or 2 tablespoons of dried herbs. Now they recommend rosemary, thyme, oregano, those sorts of things. Let's see. You're going to need a 4th cup, and this is what threw me, guys, a 4th cup of mostly melted coconut oil. So I like coconut oil for my soap, so I usually buy economy size coconut oil. So if you got any coconut oil, you can get good prices on it at like Costco, grocery outlet, certain stores, certain online places. But coconut oil is so good for you, and it makes some really tasty additions to various recipes. Not to mention a nice additive to your soap, if you're soap makers. So, 4th cup of mostly melted coconut oil, a 1/2 teaspoon of salt, and I actually think I may have put a full teaspoon into these crackers. Which, again, you know, if things happen, things happen. My husband will like it because he loves salt. So, and that's it. So you got your white wheat starter, your herbs, your mostly melted coconut oil, and your salt. And that is literally the whole recipe. And you're going to need, for measurings, a cup, a 1/2 cup, a 4th cup, coconut oil or herbs, a tablespoon, and a 1/2 teaspoon. So, oh, and they even say if you really like garlic, you can add a 1/2 teaspoon of garlic powder, and that'll be tasty too. So in the end, after you've rolled them out and cut them, you'll want to have a little bit of oil, and I added some sea salt as a topping to my last ones. I probably won't do that because I added extra salt in there this time, but it's very easy. So what you're going to do with all those ingredients is you're going to toss them in your bowl, and you're just going to mix them up. And the outcome of that is going to look like this. So when your dough's completely mixed together and incorporated, it's a really great feeling dough. It feels almost like a graham cracker crust. I gotta say, working with bread all this time, you just get this feel for the dough, and it just feels amazing. So after you do that, you're going to separate your dough into 2 pieces, and you're going to put them flat. They do tend to stick to the plate, so get a spatula. But you're going to kind of shape them like a rectangle, a rough oval rectangle, because you're going to roll them out here in a minute, and you're going to roll them out about 1/16 of an inch. Again, you know, guys, just remember that as you're having fun with baking, I always say don't take yourself too serious when you bake, because I've learned over the years if something can go wrong with baking, it will go wrong, period. And you just try again and you just have a little bit of fun with it. So I lay down a little bit of flour. I still have my kind of my ghetto rolling pin cup because I still haven't found my other rolling pin, which is all right. Again, we're having fun. And you're going to get in there and you're going to roll these things out pretty thin. So once they're rolled out, and it's going to take me a minute because the dough's pretty stiff after it's been in the fridge. So after you separate your dough into two balls, you're going to flatten it into those shapes I showed you. Put it on a plate, and then you're going to put it in the fridge for 30 minutes. Now you don't want to go too much longer than 30 minutes because if you do, it'll dry your dough out. And you know, these crackers, even though crackers are meant to be nice and crispy, you don't want them dry. Who likes dried baked goods? Not me. And I really don't think probably you guys. So, I'm working on this, working it out. So the cool thing is, you know, if you guys have little shape cutters, like little tiny cookie cutters, I know some cookie cutting sets come with small cookie cutters. You can use those to shape your crackers and do some fun shapes, you know, especially if you got kids or grandkids at home. This is a really easy recipe to do something a little different than just cookies. You can have them make animal crackers, you know, you can have them do crackers and put their initials in them or whatever you like. Because when you do get this rolled out flat enough, you are going to cut the shapes, of course, but then you're going to take a fork and you're going to poke holes in each of the crackers because it allows the crackers to rise properly and, you know, ventilate, because you want them to stay a specific density. You don't want them to be like a cookie or a piece of bread. You want them to be like a cracker. So, yeah. So once you get them rolled out in the size you want, poke each cracker with a fork. So I'm just going to kind of go from here, even though I'm not quite as thin as I would like to be on this. But I want to show you guys what this is supposed to look like. So, also while you're doing the rolling part, preheat your oven to 350. So get that oven preheated, get yourself a baking sheet with parchment paper on it. I swear, after doing all these videos, I am probably putting somebody in the parchment industry's child through college. So, I live and die by parchment paper. So anyways, I'm going to just show you guys kind of what I'm going to do with the dough here. So again, this is not as thin as I want it. I'm just kind of going to show you what you guys can do. So hopefully you guys can see that. So you're going to want to make your crackers. Well, again, you can make them whatever size you want. I like nice, perfect little bite-sized crackers because my husband makes this crazy good clam dip. And you got to have the right cracker to clam dip ratio. So, and you can reform this and re-roll it. So don't be afraid to like have these shaggy edges off to the side, because you can pick those up in a little bit. So, okay, so you got your we're starting with those 3 crackers there, and you're just going to take your fork, and this is kind of, like I said, it's hard to do one-handed. You want to just kind of gently poke them so it gets that, you know, it lets them be crackers that way. So, once you're done with your crackers, you're going to, you know, spatula them up. I got my spatula. And you can put them on the baking sheet. And when you put them on the baking sheet, grab a little bit of your olive oil. So, you can use fancy or not fancy, but if you guys have a pastry brush, olive oil looks like I'm diving into a bottle of wine. I might have to eventually. But anyways, olive oil in like a little container, just like a cup even. And you just dip your pastry brush in. Again, this is what, I love these rubber ones because they're so easy to clean compared to like a bristle pastry brush. And then you're just going to kind of brush on your oil. And it gives it an extra like little crisp crack when you take it out. And it's so good. So you brush on your oil, put them on the pan, or put them on the pan and brush on your oil, however you like. And then you put them in the oven at 350 for 20 to 25 minutes. Now with my oven, which tends to run a little hot, I found that like 21 minutes is the sweet spot. I get my crackers and they taste all crackery and they're delicious. So that's it for crackers. I mean, they are so easy, guys. You don't eat, the only wait time you have is 30 minutes in the fridge while the dough is chilling and coming together. No overnight waiting, no proofing. 30 minutes, bake those suckers. And this is what you're going to get. You're going to get these beautiful little perfect crackers. That one might have been a bit thick, but it's perfect for me. So you're going to get your perfect cracker. So anyways, they're delicious, guys. And really, you got the herbs. You can kind of see the spots of the herbs running through there. They are wonderful. So I would highly encourage them. I don't even eat tuna fish sandwich on sandwich anymore. I eat them on crackers. So go make some crackers, send me some pictures, and enjoy your night. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial, and enjoy your sourdough crackers.